Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be trying to fix up this box of digital radios, these DAB radios. I bought them from eBay. There should be 5 of them in here. I haven't checked to see if they're working or not working and what the faults are, but they were sold as faulty, and if you have a look here, I only paid £23 for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack them now, find out exactly what the faults are. I'll do that off camera, and then we'll break it down into different parts and we'll try to fix them one by one. So let's get started. Okay, so I've tested them all now, and I think these are going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to doing them. So these top 2 here are the same model. They appear to tune in and everything, so it appears to have like the FM stations tune in and the digital stations tune in, but yet there's no audio coming out of it whatsoever. Haven't checked the headphone jack yet. I'm going to do that on camera. This one here and this little one here both appear to be working. So with this one, the top of the aerial's missing. With this one over here, the rear cover's missing, and also the aerial's very bent. But initially, they're tuning into both FM and digital stations, and they're working. I haven't checked for things like Bluetooth on this one, but this is just, you know, an initial test. Now this one here is an interesting one. I think I'm going to start with this one. When I put the battery in, it's completely dead, which is correct. I go to hit the on button here and it does turn itself on. But then once it's on, I cannot do anything. I cannot change the volume, I cannot change the channels, and none of these buttons work, including, I think, the standby button. Now, I'm going to have to really edit this, because as soon as I put this in, it's going to start working, and I can't have the, I don't own the music, so basically I will get done for a copyright strike on YouTube, so I'm going to have to kind of mute it out, unfortunately. But just watch my hands, and you will see that nothing changes on here when I move the volume. When I move the volume, you should see it moving up and down, but it doesn't do anything. So I'm plugging that in there now, and you can see this is all correct. It's currently off, but now let's turn it on, and it will liven up, and it will start to tune in to the last radio station. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. This nothing. Nothing happens. Yes, you see it's just going to connect up again now. So it looks like the on and off button is working, but apart from that, nothing else is. So let's start on this one here, and let's see if we can get this working. Get in touch today. And even this doesn't turn it on, it just kind of like resets it. Yeah. So let's take this apart, let's see if we can see what's going on, and if I don't understand it, I can always swap parts with this one, and then I'll be able to fault find and see what the problem is. Right, let's get this thing apart, and then see if there's anything obvious why the top buttons are not working. Right, there's definitely a ribbon cable going up to the top. I see it just up here. So I don't know why I thought it'd be a lot more full on the inside. Let's take this off, see if we can undo this. There we go. And this. Excellent, so that's freed there now. So we've got a nice circuit board going on there. We might have to fault find that. First impressions looking at it, I can't see anything wrong with it just from a very quick look. But I'm thinking it's all to do with something that's going up here. Right, so what I'm thinking is to undo all these screws and these screws here, and then see if it becomes apparent what it might be. Right, so that's a couple of LEDs here attached to the side of the screen, and yeah, these ribbon cables look like they're soldered on. Ideally I would like to remove the screen so I don't damage it. I wonder if there's a way I can pop that off there or not. Let's see if what happens if I pop that there. And pop that there we go. Excellent. Okay, so I can move that now, and I can take out this ribbon cable here. Right, so now hopefully I won't damage that. Now I can be a bit more rough with this. Well, I can't actually get to these ones because of my screwdriver, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thing, which I very rarely use. It came in the little kit here. There we go. You see now I can just turn it like this. This side's not wanting to come out, so I'm thinking it's to do with this here. I wonder whether you have to lever this up. I don't know how much force to use, it really isn't coming at all. So there's a load of buttons there, so it looks like it's well made. It's not just relying on like a membrane, these are buttons that you press in. I'm just going to get a pry tool, see if I can lever that up a bit. Actually, I'll try using this. Yeah, this might do it. There we go. Excellent. Right, now that should drop down. Right, I think I can see the problem. Look, when the top was put on, it trapped the wire. Well, I say I think, I'm not sure if this is the problem or not, but look, it doesn't look right. Can you see now I can't pull it out because the wires are trapped down here. Can you see down there? So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a problem, because in fact that connector itself is all mangled up. Can you see there? It's not in nice and straight. We're looking right down there. Let me zoom right in. Right, okay, so that was the connector I just removed. Now have a look right down there. Can you see that connector now? There we go. Yeah, see, it's all trapped, isn't it? So let's try to just pull it out. There we go. Right, so I think the board itself is probably okay. I think the problem is all to do with this here. So if I free up that wire, then I'm hoping I'll be able to get it working again. Let's zoom out of it. I'm not sure how we take this top out because it's kind of glued in. Oh, I see. So there's just plastic little clips, and then yeah, they have put like a splodge of glue on each of them just to keep them in their place. Do you know what? I might be able to just manhandle this wire out if I kind of bend that. If I bend that a little bit there, like that. There we go. Look, now it's coming. Yeah, this is definitely no good. There we go. Right, so I'm pretty certain that that is going to be our problem. Saying that, there isn't actually a break on that wire. I think what's happened is it was just a bad connection in here. So we should be able to temporarily put this back together and see if it's working. Yeah, I'm not so confident now, unless you see that was, I think that was slightly out. It did look more damaged, didn't it? But maybe it was just pulled out a bit. So let's put this back together, and we'll see now if these buttons are doing anything. speakers, do we? It's going to help me if I don't have the speakers plugged in, because then I don't have to worry about lowering it down all the time. Right, so let's turn on, standby. Right, that comes on. And it's connecting again. Right, now let's see if we can do anything. There we go, station list. There you go, can you see there? That's working, and let's go to next. Yeah, absolute rock. Sorry, you can't see that. Here we go. Excellent. So it was just, can you see it moving along there, that bottom line? Atlantis, BBC. Perfect. So as far as I'm concerned, that's doing something different than it was before. So it was purely that this connector here wasn't pushed in properly. So what I have to do now is I have to try to put a bit of insulation back around this wire. So let me have a think, because I don't want to use a heat shrink, because it would mean I'd have to cut one side, and I don't want to do that. So I might just use a bit of insulation tape in this instance here. Let me get some. Let me just see if it does turn off. There you go, standby and off. Perfect. What a nice little fix, even though it isn't fully back together yet. Alright, so I've got some tape. I'm just going to straighten up this little wire a bit, because it's got quite a big kink in it. There we go. It is actually a very, very strong wire. The whole thing does look, I don't know, I think it looks quite nicely made. You know, the buttons and stuff feel nice and tactile when you press them. I used to know the name of this brand, but I can't remember how to pronounce it now. I think is it Blaupunkt? And I remember, that's probably completely wrong, Blaupunkt? Blaupunkt. I don't know, I can't remember what it is, but I remember back in the, I suppose, what would it be? The 90s, the early 90s, I think a lot of car stereos were made and speakers and stuff by this company. And from memory at the time I thought they were good, or I was told they were good. Whether they were or not, I don't know. Then again, do you know what? Since then they might have been bought out by other people and stuff. But I think, yeah, I think this digital radio, when I was just messing around with it earlier, the buttons, it feels, I don't know, I think it feels okay. Definitely doesn't feel cheap. Right, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of tape around the whole thing there. There we go. I don't think I'm going to have any problems with that. I think that will keep out of trouble now. So I just need to make sure when I put it all back together that nothing gets trapped. Right, so let's reassemble it now, and we can do a test at the end. Feels like it's in the right place, because I can still do that button there, and that one there. Actually, it fits much better in that way. So I think it might have been overly twisted to begin with. Maybe that was the problem, because initially when I went to put it in, it was that way and it was all twisted. I'll have to watch the video back, but I'm pretty sure when I first of all took it apart that this was quite twisted up. So maybe that's why in the when they were making it, that there was an extra twist in here, and then it pushed the wire up, and then when they pushed this top bit on, it just trapped itself. Right, I'm just going to have to watch the video back, because you know what I didn't do? There's 6 screws here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 of them are different than all the other 4, so I need to find out which ones have like the washers on. Well, I'm not 100% sure because I'm just looking through the viewfinder of the camera, but I think it is these middle 2 here. They look bigger than the rest. Actually, of course it's these middle 2 here because they're shorter than the rest and you don't want it to go through and hit the actual display itself. So all the others are longer, so they're going to be going around the edges. Yep, that's the reason why. That should have been obvious. Right, this little tip I watched in one of Chris's videos, Ask Gadget UK, and also I've seen in Elliot's videos from the Retro Future. So these are little self-tappers, and when you screw into plastic, they make their own thread as they go in. The problem is, it's fine if you just do it a couple of times, but let's say if you have to keep undoing this and doing it up, eventually you're going to make so many new threads on the way in that you're going to strip it out. But listen to this, if you put it in, normally it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so we're going to be turning to the right. But let's do it to the left, so counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, just until you hear a click, and that means you found the old thread. So listen. There, did you hear that? Yeah. So let's do that again. So take the screw out. There. And then tighten it up. Right, so that is that bit back together. You can see now that that is no longer trapped. This is free to move around the place, so the connector is going to be nice and good. So let's pop this back on here. And pop this on here. Right, so now we can pop this back together. So I'm thinking maybe with this one that it was actually done like that from the manufacturer, so maybe this never worked. Let's pop the batteries in. And now let's turn it on. Just going to lower the volume right down. There you go, you can see the volume's working. Excellent. Yeah, right, let's go to something which isn't music. Here we go.
Because of the way we shame people, because of the
yeah, there you go.
Scrutiny.
Don't worry about that, I've just got the aerial down at the moment.
Scared of it, and the people who perhaps
and you can see now when I press that,
like,
that
well,
is moving around the place.
Because of the entitlement, maybe they're friends with the press and they're not going to be...
And I'm just going to go on to mode to put it to FM and see if that's working. Yeah, there you go. You can hear the static. And it's scanning now. Remember, I'm inside and the aerial's not fully extended.
Without appearing to
there we go.
And to accompany me without appearing to surround.
Excellent. And turn it off. Right, so there are other features like Bluetooth and stuff, but I can test that all off camera. We've kind of proved what the fault is. It wasn't working. Obvious fault on the inside, and now it's fixed. So yes, there might be slight other things that are not working with it, but I'm not going to worry about them in this video here. So now I have to do the other two. I'm thinking I might do them in the one video. Now, rather than tagging them onto the back of this one, I think I'm going to call it a day on this one because it's New Year's Eve. I'm going to edit this up and I'm going to try to get it out there tonight, and then you see I can wish everybody a happy new year. So like I said at Christmas time, but you might have missed it because you might not watch all of my videos. Thank you so much for all the support you've given me in 2019, and let's hope for a lot of fun and a lot of fixes and how-to videos in 2020. So hopefully tonight you will be having lots of fun with family and stuff, and I wish you all a very, very, very happy new year. Double thumbs up. Take care. Bye now.